Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is all things Real Housewives of Potomac, the fake friends, the boring feuds, is Karen Hager going to jail? I really hope not. We are going to get into all of it. But before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It's a free way to support the show and to show some love. So, whether you're watching live or on the replay, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where are you watching from? What are your thoughts? What are your questions? Let's have a lot of fun. So, with that, let's dive right on in. So, we'll start with a review of the episode and the show, and then I'll go into a couple of more pressing stories and ideas and conspiracies that I have. So, first up, let's talk about the show and the girls. All right, let's see if that's better for you guys. So, to kick off, I'm not going to go too deep into Karen because she's kind of baked into everybody else's story. She's that girl, she's the main character. As we all know, she has the DUI. She has her 61st birthday. She's beefing with Gizelle, having her award ceremony at the same exact time that Gizelle has her G&A athleisure slash fundraiser for brain cancer, brain tumors in honor of her father who recently passed away. That was super shady. But a couple of things I will say about Karen. I think that Karen is scared. I think she's very scared. I think she's very fearful because she could be facing real jail time, after her DUI. It's allegedly her second offense. So, my whole thing is, I think we're seeing a very scared Karen. She seems to be on edge. She seems to be very not trusting people, which I understand. If you're, facing a court case where you just turned 61 years old, you're a mom, you're a matriarch, you're a wife, and you could be going to jail for a DUI, even if it's just like you're going to get a month or whatever, that's still scary. Going to jail is scary. So I think we're seeing a very fearful, scared Karen. Now, in relationship to Gizelle, I actually think that Gizelle is trying. I think Gizelle is trying to be there for Karen. She's trying to be supportive. They had a two-party. I think she had the best intentions. But again, the problem with these two is that there is love there between them. There is a genuine friendship there, but there's been so much distrust, shadiness, backstabbing, setting people up that now that Gizelle, that I really think is trying to change for the best, Karen doesn't believe it. So she can't receive her support in the same way because of how grimy and messy and two-faced Gizelle has been in the past. So she's like, you've bitten me so many times. When Ray was going through the tax problem, we had money issues. You had, Tax Ben, Uncle Ben t-shirts made up, and you and Robin, was very disrespectful and played in Karen's face. When Karen was renting the house, wherever whether it was Potomac or someplace, Gizelle, Robin, Ashley sent the pizza guy there. So every time Karen has been facing a crisis, whether it's her and her husband, Green Eyes, saying she's cheating. So cheating allegations, money issues and tax issues with her husband, renting a house versus owning a house versus having to leave house. Anytime Karen has faced an issue, Gizelle has backstabbed her, played in her face, and pretty much clowned her and pranked her. So I understand why Karen is not trusting of Gizelle. I think that since Gizelle has now faced her own crises, her father has passed away, her ace spoon coon Robin got fired, Gizelle has been played in her face by Jamal, who lives in the phone, this, that, and the third. I think that Gizelle has been humbled, not a toxic humble. I don't believe in women being humble in a toxic way, as in you need to dim your shine, you need to know your place, you need to not, be confident. I don't believe in that. To me, that's toxic humility. To me, the positive humility is, I am great and I am wonderful, but at the same time, I need to treat people with respect. I need to know that Carmen has everybody's address. And I think that's the humility Gizelle is getting now after everything has sort of crumbled around her. But Karen can't receive that because Gizelle has bitten her so many times and kicked her so many times when she's already been down. right? So that's what I think is going on there. Now let's get into and Karen, I feel bad for her. I hope she gets I know what she did with the DUI was wrong. I know she could have hurt other people, but the fact is she didn't. So right now I think we should focus on Karen getting help if she needs it. I don't want to call anybody anything when it comes to drinking, but we'll see what happens there. Now let's move into Gizelle a little bit more with her event. Now, Gizelle was dead wrong for kicking the girls out, but I also feel Karen was dead wrong for double booking that night. But again, Karen's like, you always clown me. I don't think anything you do is legit. So I'm going to clown you back before you can clown me harder, which is why I think Karen did that. I also think Karen is trying to save face. I think she's scared. I think she's super, super embarrassed, but she doesn't want to put that armor down to be like, I'm embarrassed. This is happening to me. So she's trying to do all these performative things, like, let's have the event. I'm getting an award. It's like, Karen, you have bigger fish to fry, but it is what it is. Now, the issue with Gizelle throwing the girls out at the event, this is where I want to talk a little bit about Ashley. Gizelle, Ashley is not your friend. Ashley is your new Robin, because I don't even think Robin really was your friend. A real friend will be there to make you make rash decisions and guide you during times when you are either emotionally not in a place, like Gizelle, who's still clearly grieving the loss of her father. If you are, drunk or impaired, if you are whatever the case may be, a real friend will guide you into making the right decisions. Unlike an Ashley, unlike a Robin, because I know I'm personally not even missing Robin this season. I forgot she was even on the show, to be honest with you. But I think Ashley is the new Robin to Gizelle, where she's just become her yes person. So again, it wasn't just an event for Gizelle and her father. It was a GNA, Gizelle and Ashley Athleisure, that lives on Sheen.com, whatever the case may be. It was also Ashley's event. Ashley also had the authority to say, no, girls, stay. Or Gizelle, you're going to regret this. I know you're mad at Karen, but don't take it on the girls. You guys need to stay. You guys need to stay. Yes, it was a fundraiser for Gizelle's father, but it was also a GNA event. That's where you really need to be careful with surrounding yourself by yes people who just say yes to you and then do your bidding. Ashley then took her little iPad, went to the little Sprinter van, being like, if you guys want to give, and the girls were like, no, thank you, get out of the Sprinter van. Like, you just kicked us out. What are you talking about? If Ashley was a real one, she would say, Gizelle, I know you're hurting right now. I know you're mad at Karen, but let's let the girls in. Instead, she stood there like, I don't know. This is between you guys. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. To me, Ashley this season will be the new Robin, and she's messy as hell. Also with Ashley, I think that, well, let me finish up with Gizelle, then I'll get back to Ashley. So later on in the episode, we see that Gizelle comes to her senses and she's like, you know what? I was mad at Karen and I apologize. And, I want to move forward with you ladies. That I like, that she took accountability. And that's what I mean by, I feel like Gizelle has been humbled in a positive way. I feel like now she realizes she has to take accountability for herself. She has to put her right foot forward. She's trying to make friends with Wendy. She's apologizing to the girls. She's trying to do right by Karen to the most capacity that she can. But again, it took her being very humbled. It took Robin being fired. It took, unfortunately, her father passing away. It took the whole internet basically coming for her gizzard neck after all of the seasons. It took Jamal playing all the way in her face, telling the entire world that, their whole entire relationship was fake and phony and just for the cameras. So it took a lot for her to finally wake up and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to kind of get it together. So there's that part, right? So I think with Gizelle, we're going to see a friendly, kinder, happier Gizelle because number one, she needs to check, she needs to stay. And I feel like she's been put on notice by the producers, the same way they put Robin on notice, and Robin clearly failed that. And that's why she got fired. I think when Gizelle was demoted from her next to Andy on the reunion table, or seating arrangement, that was her being super put on notice. So I think she's going to show up and clock in. Whether or not we like her, that's up for grabs, but I do think she's going to show up and show out this season. Okay. So that's kind of where I land with Gizelle. Now let's get back to Ashley. Like I said, I think this season she's going to be the new Robin. She's going to be a yes person to Gizelle, which means she's also going to do what Robin did. She's going to be catching strays. What will be meant for Gizelle is going to hit Ashley because she's now the new yes person. She's the new mouthpiece. That is the new alliance. She's the new green-eyed bandit. I don't know what her eye color is, but you know what I mean? She's the new green-eyed bandit in that situation. So we'll see. Ashley, to me, I don't like her personality on the show. Not that I don't like her personally, because I want to be clear, because sometimes when people say I don't like someone, they think they mean it personally. I don't know this woman, never met her in my life. When I say I don't like her, I mean I don't like the persona she plays on the TV show. She's very messy. She's very mean. I don't think she's anybody's friend, and I think she's out for herself. And I think that she is so jealous of Stacy. The jealousy oozes out of every single pore of Ashley's body. Number one, Stacy is gorge. Stacy might be a little awkward. She might be a little stiff, but the woman is gorgeous. You just cannot, you can't knock it. She's gorgeous. I think she's jealous of that. I think that Ashley is jealous that Stacy has money from her hosting for QVC, but clearly her real money comes from her husband. I think she's jealous that she's still living in the big house with her husband, which is what Ashley tried to do with Michael, and clearly that didn't work out. I think that even though Stacy is divorcing her husband, I think that what Stacy had or represents is everything Ashley wanted. You know, not to make anything about race, but to have like the rich white husband, which they both have had, you know, all the money, all the status, the young wife. Those are all the things that Ashley wanted that now is kind of like not really happening with Ashley. And I sort of feel like Ashley is treating Stacy the way she treated Katie. Remember Katie? Beautiful, tall Katie, before Katie had her breakdown and all that. Katie was similar to that girl, tall, beautiful. She was dating Andrew, I think it was, again, rich white guy. And race doesn't matter. I'm just saying it because that's what it is. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, but just to put it out there since it's out there and, you know, it is what it is. So I think Ashley was also very jealous of Katie because Katie was very similar to Stacy. I see a lot of similarities between them. They're kind of ditzy. They also had the conversation about biracial, where everybody got mad at Katie for Katie saying she was biracial when she is, and it is what it was, or whatever the case may be. Then we see Ashley and Stacy having that same biracial conversation about raising their children and about, you know, Ashley being biracial, then obviously her children are and Stacy's. So we kind of have those same themes and those same conversations. And I think that with Ashley and Stacy, what we are seeing and why Stacy got so pissed at Ashley, because Ashley basically was just like telling all her business, is again, Ashley likes nobody. Ashley is nobody's friend. And I do believe that Ashley is very, very jealous of Stacy. Even though Stacy is going through a divorce, she still kind of has that template that Ashley has always wanted or aspired to. This season, I think Ashley is going to be very boring, very flat, very mean, very messy, and very bitter. There's a bitterness to Ashley. You know, even though she's not my favorite person, there used to be a spark to her, but there's a dullness to her this season. Maybe it's because the fake separation with Michael has now become a real divorce, because I don't think that when Ashley and Michael first got separated, that was real. I think it was because he wanted his privacy. He wanted to do his dirt in private and not be on camera. But I think that maybe has morphed into maybe they really are going to get divorced at some point in time. And I don't think Ashley ever thought that the separation was really going to lead to a true divorce. But there's something going on with Ashley. She's not drinking, which is fine. But have you guys noticed she's just doing mocktails and water? So I don't know what's going on there, but there's something going on with Ashley where I feel something is off with her. Okay. So now let's talk about Stacy, since we just talked about how Ashley is jealous of her. Do we like Stacey? Put it in the chat box. Let me know what you guys think about Stacey. I like Stacey. I think that she's warming up. I think she was a little bit of a slow burn, a little boring the first couple of episodes, but I actually prefer that over the new housewives that come in so hot, so fast that you're like, no, it's an automatic no. Like Katie on the OC, too hot, too fast. Like, leave Heather Dubrow alone, girl. You haven't been here for 2 seconds. Pipe down. Anna Marie in Beverly Hills, like, girl, nobody's checking for you, especially not Sutton. So go pipe down. So I actually like that Stacey is a little bit more of a slow burn, and she's getting. And I'm also happy it didn't take her 2.5 seasons like it did Jen in the OC to finally find her voice. She's finding her voice. I think she's going to be a firecracker. I think she's going to bring a lot more than we think she's going to bring. Now, a couple of things is going on here. Number one, Stacey's relationship with TJ. I am so confused. And I have so many theories on this. I want to know what you guys think about this. Okay. I want to know what you guys think. So, Stacey's relationship. Either one, and I have to say this disclaimer. I say it almost in every video, but in case we have new candy canes. Anytime we talk about sexuality here or identity, it's from a place of love and inclusivity. So if we're going to talk about somebody's heterosexual relationship or homosexual relationship, whatever the case may be, it's all in, I believe we are all equal. So if I talk about that, it's coming from a place of love, not judgment or anything negative at all. So I just want to be very clear. We are love and inclusive here, and we will have those conversations because we should be having those conversations. So with that, this is how I feel. And again, this is just my opinion. So Stacey's relationship with TJ. Number one, before I break down what the hell I think is going on with them, because it's a lot. PSA to women, never date a man who wants your literal position in life. When Stacey said she met TJ when he was auditioning to be a host on the QVC, which is literally her job, I was confused. I was like, come again? What? What'd you say? He literally wants to be you? This is very different than like, oh, we are all at a law firm and I date, a lawyer who works over here and I'm a lawyer too, or we all work at the hospital. This is a different boat, okay? This is very, very different. I'm not talking about, you're two accountants and you get together. Duh. I'm talking about you're in the entertainment industry. You are a host for a shopping network and you meet your new boo thing because he wants to be a host for a shopping network. Girl, does he want to date you or is he looking for like a LinkedIn connect? I'm confused. That to me was a red flag. I was like, he's looking for a come up. He wants to be on TV. He wants to be famous. Like he's looking, to book his next gig. Like red flag, red flag, red flag. Especially, and again, this is just my personal belief. If you are the woman and you have a higher position than him because he's auditioning to get to where you're at. No. Just so many red flags there. So there's that. Now let's get into what I think is going on with her and TJ. Option number one, she is his beard and he is not into women and she's in denial about it because I don't know what guy is like, yeah, let's just like not be intimate at all. And I want to be a host on a shopping network. Again, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being derogatory by any means. I'm just saying my opinion on the situation. And we can always have a respectful conversation about it. Just want to be very clear. But to me, that was a little bit of a red flag where he just doesn't want to. And like, I feel sometimes people use religion as a way to have cover for if they're in the closet or if they don't feel safe to come out or comfortable to come out, or if they still want to have that quote unquote traditional life where it's like a man and a wife and kids, but maybe that's really not maybe that's what they want, but they want something else. Again, I'm not saying that this is him. I'm not putting this on him. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, this is what comes to mind when I think about a situation like this. Okay. So there may be something like that going on where he is a grown adult man and he's like, all of a sudden, I want to wait until marriage. But like she says in the confessional, and I'm going to get into exactly what she said with another idea that I have, he's not a virgin. So I'm confused. Second option, it's a fake relationship for the show. Maybe Stacy wanted to have a plus one for events. She wanted to have storyline, and he, as we know, wants to be on TV. He wanted to be a host for the QVC network. So maybe he wants to be a plus one on Bravo for the Real Housewives of Potomac. So it could be some fake relationship for the show. Not the first time this has happened, not the last time it happens. People have rented boyfriends looking at you, Kenya Moore, all day long, So there's that about it. I don't know. It could be a fake showmance for the show. So she has storyline. So she has a plus one. But the reason why I'm thinking maybe not that part so much is because I do think her genuine feeling of betrayal and irritation when Ashley brought TJ up to the group, without her permission, she seemed to be genuinely pissed off about that with everything with her daughter. But again, still could be storyline. She still could maybe want to own that narrative of how it gets out there. So maybe not, but there's that. And again, I think Ashley only said that she has a friend because she's jealous. You can see the jealousy seething out of Ashley. Like you could touch it. It's that hot. Okay. Now, here's another situation. He's her beard in the sense of, I'm not saying talking about her sexuality, but maybe she's dating somebody who doesn't want to be on the show. Maybe she's just out there having fun, dipping it and doing it. But again, like I said, she wants a little bit of cover. Now, so it's not necessarily a fake relationship for the show, but she's faking it with him and unbeknownst to him for her own cover. I'm just thinking of all possibilities because the one possibility that I 100%, in my opinion, do not believe is that this is a real relationship. Either she is in denial and she wants, to believe that he's into her, or it's a fake relationship for the show. But the last thing I believe, in my opinion, is that it is a genuine, authentic relationship. I'm not saying she's lying. She may be in denial, but there's a fly in the milk with this situation, okay? And then the last sort of theory I have, which kind of piggybacks off of she's just with him for cover and she knows the deal, or he knows the deal, is that she kind of doesn't care that he may not be into women and maybe not into that. She doesn't care. She likes the comfort. She likes the companionship. She likes having someone because her ex or her soon to be ex-husband is already dating somebody. It could be one of those things where it's like, oh, you have somebody new. Well, I do too. You don't really care about who the I do too is. You just only have it because you want to lick back at your ex. You want to get back at them. You want to make them jealous. Because it seems to me, I think Gizelle was right when she's like, do you want the divorce? You seem sad. I think Stacy was going to say that she didn't want the divorce and she wanted to stay in her marriage. But then Ashley interjected and was like, oh, she already has a friend. Because Ashley is just messy and jealous and evil and mean. I don't think that, and again, just my opinion, I don't think that Stacy wants to be divorced. I think her husband was cheating on her and he wanted the divorce because basically what she said was, oh, he's seeing someone. So am I. It's been about a year. We grew apart. But you can sense, and she said, I would never be happy over a divorce. You can just get the vibe, the sense from her that this was not her decision. And it seems like since he's dating other people, they're splitting their time. He's here and she's there. To me, it just seems like a very classic tale, and not to bash men at all, because I love men. I don't mean it in this way, but it's just like the husband dips out on the wife, and then he wants to get separated, and then you know what I mean? That seems what it's like. But the reason why I say this is, did you clock what Stacy said in the confessional? Because number one, words matter. Number two, people always tell on themselves. This is, and I wrote down verbatim what she said. This is what Stacy said when asked if TJ was a virgin. She said, and I quote, "He's had other partners. He doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless she is going to be his wife." Prior to this statement, he literally said he had 0% wanted to have sex with her. Let that sink in. Because words matter and people always tell on themselves. Either, because she said he's had sex with other partners. She did not say he's had sex with other women, not even other people, partners. So does she know the sexual orientation of the partner? And then she said specifically, he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless she is going to be his wife. Intimate with a woman. He's had sex with other partners. What does that mean to you? So when she said that, I was like, okay, boo boo, she's in on the okie doke. You know, people have their own, what they do behind closed doors. I personally don't care. You get in where you fit in, whether you want to have male partners, female partners, trans partners. I don't care. Do you have consent? Be safe. Do you? I don't care. But words matter. And the way she said that, the way I read it was, she knows what his preference is in partners. And she didn't say that he currently wasn't having sex. She said he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman. She said what she said, and she said it with her whole chest. Y'all read into that how you want to. He also said, I have 0% interest in having sex with you. So right there, he is telling you, I am not into you, because he wants to have sex with a woman that's going to be his wife. If a man was, and the reason why I bring religion into it is because it really irritates me. I'm not particularly religious, but I am spiritual and I believe in God and I love God. So it really pisses me off when people bastardize and they use religion or God as an excuse and as cover to do what they want to do in the dark. And they don't want to bring it to the light. And they use religion or God as a cover. Oh, God's judgment, religion, blah, 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 blah. The Bible says, no, knock it off. Knock it off. Say what you are and what you want to do and say it with your whole chest. Because at the end of the day, God still loves you. God is not judging you. Everything will be okay. Don't use religion as cover to get away with your secrets and your dirts. So that's why I bring it into it, because that's what's really irritating. And when people do that, they make other people not want to have a relationship with God because they think, oh, well, I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be condemned, blah, 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 and all of that crap, which isn't true. God is love and God is forgiveness and God is being who you are authentically, right? Well, that's just my opinion on it. So that's what really irritates me when people use that as cover. But you're not going to sit here in a confessional and say with your whole chest, he's had sex with other partners, but he doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless it's his wife. And then talk about because God said so. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And he's like, they're not judging us. They're judging God. They're judging the Bible. They're judging religion, whatever he says. Knock it off, sir. Knock it off. Knock it off. Crazy. But I do like Stacy, and I do think that I think she's going to be a really good housewife, and I want to see everything unfold with her. I do find it a little bit questionable as to why she waited until filming started. Maybe that was just strategy before telling, Karen, because Karen's the one who brings around the show that she's been separated for a year from her husband. I don't know what's going on with that, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So there's that part. Okay, so we talked about all of them. Wendy is going to be short and sweet because Wendy to me is boring. I I like Wendy. I like Wendy. I don't think she's mean or anything like that. I like Wendy. I like, Laughing Eddie. I think they have beautiful children, but I think she's boring. That's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. I'm not invested in the grandparents don't like her, Eddie's parents, blah, blah, blah. They're coming to the birthday party. I don't care. Wendy said she's turning 40. Is it just me? But I thought Wendy was like 47, but she's turning 40. I don't know. I don't know anymore how people look. I don't know with like fillers and filters and Botox and nips and tucks, but I thought Wendy was like 47 years old. I had no idea Wendy was in her 30s this entire time. No idea. Anyway, no tea, no shade. I was just shocked. I think she's boring to me, and that's pretty much it. And also, I saw some people were saying, "Oh, Wendy let Gizelle off too easy." I thought it was the other way around. I thought she was being unnecessarily still begrudging in her confessionals. Like, I get they've had a history, I get everything, but I also think it's kind of time to like start really afresh and anew. Like, let's just let some of that old crap go. It's stale, it's corny. We all know who Gizelle is. We all know what happened with the, blogger rumors and blah, blah. But at this point in the game, all of the women have had very nasty, negative, embarrassing things come out about them, allegedly true or false, on the show, from the blogs, from each other, coming out like they've all done it. Nobody is clean at this point. Like, I think we just need to start fresh and go on. You know what I mean? From there, because I also think that I do also kind of agree with Gizelle, where she's like, well, it is kind of hard to be friends with you when you're very like condescending and you don't let anything go and like all of this stuff. I agree with that. To me, Wendy's a little bit boring. She's a little rigid. She's very, very self-righteous. I don't dislike her, but she's a snore. She's a snore. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. Okay. Now let's get into who's left. Let's talk about Kiana. I'm just gonna call her KK. Sorry, Kiana. And then we'll get into Messy Mia, who is just disgusting to me. Absolutely gross. Personality, I don't mean looks, I mean personality. KK, I think she's really sweet. She seems like a beautiful girl. However, I will say this. I'm not sure, and this is just based on the like preview clips that we've seen of her and her boyfriend slash want to be fiance, but just they are moving in together. Her man. I'm not sure that's gonna work out because in the scene we haven't seen it yet, but they did the preview. She's like, I feel like I'm small around you, or like I shrink around you, or something. And he says something really abusive back to her, something really mean back to her. I don't know. I forgot exactly what it said, but I was like, oh, no, girl, you need to stop. And he just had a weird energy. Like, oh, you have all this stuff. It's not going to fit. This very weird. What he said, I thought was really horrible. And my gut reaction was like, girl, you in danger and you need to leave. So that's where I kind of feel on her. Also, I'm calling BS on, and I thought it was, it would kind of give me the ick because for Kiriana or KK, Kirana, whatever her name is. I'm sorry. Sorry, girl. She's so beautiful, so cool, so chic, so fun, so fashionable, so accomplished. But then she's like, when she's talking to her mom, well, I don't want to be one of those thirsty ring girls. Like, those like thirsty ring girls who are like thirsty for their ring. Girl, boo-boo. Number one, thou dost protest too much. If you are not, quote, a thirsty ring girl, you would not be sitting around with your mother talking about how you're not a thirsty ring girl. That means you are a thirsty ring girl. You brought it up multiple times. Oh, my mom said, when's the ring before you move in, but I'm not a thirsty ring girl. Then she has the scene with her mom. Oh, you're not a thirsty ring girl. Girl, you are a thirsty ring girl. That's why you brought it up multiple times. Thou dost protest too much. With that being said, I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting to be engaged before you move in, wanting to know what the trajectory of your relationship is, what his intentions are to you. So you're not going to be with a man who's going to waste years of your life because you want to front like you're some cool girl who doesn't care. News flash, the cool girl who doesn't care gets nothing. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Trying to be the cool girl. I don't care about commitment. Let's just go with the flow. Let's just see where this goes. I'm not thirsty, needy, or desperate. The truth is, that's actually rooted in low self-esteem. Because people who act like that, the core belief is, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. That abandonment wound. So instead of actually saying what my needs are, what my wants are, I'm going to pretend I don't have any needs or wants. So you don't leave me. So I don't come across as needy, as desperate. Because the core fear is that if I say this is what I want, I'm going to be too much. I'm not going to be good enough and you're not going to choose me. You're going to abandon me and you're going to leave me. And then you leaving me reinforces my core belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. Nobody stays. I'm not worthy of commitment. So that whole cool girl, thirsty ring stuff, you need to go to therapy and you need to work on loving yourself. You need to work on getting yourself confident. You need to work on your communication skills to say to a man that you've been with for X, Y, and Z years, if you want me to move in with you, if you want me to act like a wife, then I need a ring. Then I need to know what the trajectory of our life is, so I don't waste another second of my life on a man who does not want me. Because a man will waste years of your life knowing fully well he does not want you. So you need to figure that out. But all that cool girl, I'm not a thirsty ring girl stuff, that's not cute. It's not cute. It's not doing what you think it's doing. Because anybody who is healthy and confident understands that that means you're not. That's why he treats you like that, to be perfectly honest, because you're acting like the cool girl. But what he sees is, this is a girl I can use and take advantage of. She's going to do what I want when I want, and I don't really have to give her anything. This is a girl who's going to prove to me how cool and worthy she is, just so I don't leave her. So at the end of the day, you're actually keeping the man, because being kept isn't always about money, right? So girl, that's my advice to you, because you are beautiful, you are funny, you're intelligent, you got it going on, and I feel like you could do 1,000% better than this guy. But the first step with you is getting right with you, because there's nothing cute about being the cool girl who's not thirsty for the ring, because you're going to wake up in 10, 15, 20 years and you're going to realize where that cool girlness got you. And it won't be a ring with a man. I'm just telling you that much. Okay, so that's where I land on her. Now let's talk about messy ass Mia. Okay? I'm going to sum Mia up with these couple of articles that I found. And I'm going to talk about Mia. Okay. So my thoughts on Mia is that she has a full-on revenge plot when it comes to Karen. So at first I was like, why is Mia coming so hard for Karen in like this really crazy psycho way? And then I was like, oh, it's because it was either last season or the season before that. It was Mia felt that Karen didn't have her back 100% when it was the Mia and Wendy physical altercations, right? Remember where they were like, the girls were fighting, like going back and forth. Mia threw a drink, she threw her back, and Karen was like, both of y'all are wrong. Wendy's mouth was wrong, but your hands were wrong, so you cancel each other out. And then Mia was pissed, like, Karen, you didn't have my back, you're not my girl, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 right? Mia is being very vindictive and vengeful ever since then. Then she tried to get Karen back with the whole "you're cheating, I heard those rumors," whatever. So to me, I feel like that should have been squashed. The beef should have been squashed. You felt like Karen didn't have your back, which I actually was on Karen's side with that. You got her back with the cheating rumors, cool. But she's still being very vindictive and vengeful. Number one, did you clock how when Jacqueline came into the Hatitude party for Karen's birthday, she said, "Oh, yeah, Karen's been calling me and she's been drunk on the phone." And all the girls were like, "Wait a minute, like recently?" And she's like, "Yeah, like after the DUI." Jacqueline and Mia are BFF scissor sisters. So clearly everything that comes out of Jacqueline's also Mia's little pet thing. So everything that comes out of Jacqueline's mouth is already been co-signed, scripted by Mia. So the fact that Jacqueline comes out the gate going for Karen, saying on camera that Karen was drunk calling her after the DUI is so messy, so messed up, and premeditated. Number two, Jacqueline made the comment about letting the courts decide on what happens with Karen. That is horrible. Number one, Karen is up against real stakes. She could go to jail with a capital JAIL, jail. This isn't some first offense situation where, I hope she just gets community service, to be honest with you. I'm team Karen. I hope she gets community service and I hope she gets court mandated rehab. That's what I want for Karen. Court mandated rehab. She has to go to rehab, like a real rehab, and she has to do community service. That's what I want for Karen. But she could face actual jail time. So the fact that you have Jacqueline coming up talking about she's calling me drunk, fact saying I want the courts to decide, then you have it being foreshadowed that Mia is saying to Karen again on camera and in the confessional, because the real fight is gonna pop off next episode, but this was all foreshadowed. Karen needs to admit guilt. She needs to admit her fault. Then she brings the court documents on the trip, reading them to everybody, all of the charges, trying to bait Karen into admitting something on camera about the incident, knowing that the court case is pending and knowing that anything Karen says or does can be used against her and will be used against her in the court of law, when she literally has to go to court to not go to jail, is vindictive and evil and messy and disgusting on a whole different level. Mind you, all of the Jacqueline stuff and Mia trashing Karen on social media, she had a whole social media smear campaign against Karen after the DUI, all happened prior to the Hatitude party, which is when Karen was like, "Oh, what's going on with like your kids and Ink and Gordon and all of that stuff." So Mia can't even say, "Oh, you talked about my kids and that's why I'm coming after you," because all of that happened before, except for the trip stuff, because that's coming next episode. But the Jacqueline stuff, the social media smear campaign, all of that happened. Just Google it. A bunch of stuff comes up. Mia bashing Karen's DUI and blah, 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 and mugshot. And I have a clip too. I got to find that. I got to find that. So actually, let me see if I can bring that up now. Let me see if I can do that, you guys. All of that happened prior to that. So she can't be like, "Oh, I'm just on a get back because you brought up my kids." No, Mia, you've been doing this 100, like prior to that. And I'm just like, what is going on where she's that evil and vindictive, where she's trying to, set Karen up on camera? Because she literally said she needs to admit fault and she needs to admit guilt or whatever she said. Why in the hell would Karen admit fault and guilt on camera prior to a court case where she could go to jail? Mia, you're not stupid. You might be dumb, but you're not stupid. And to me, that's a different type of evil. I knew Mia was messy and vindictive, but there's an evilness to her that's coming out. Same way the way she treats Gordon. Same exact way she treats Gordon. Let me see if I have a slide on that. Okay. let's I'll get into that. Let's wrap this one up, then I'll get into that one. So yes. So this is kind of what I feel as like Mia's revenge plot against Karen. I want to know what you guys think. Put on your candy cane critical thinking hats and let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Why is Mia going this hard for Karen, knowing that the stakes is Karen going to actual jail? It can't just be the fact that Karen, was neutral Switzerland when it came to her fight with Wendy, when Mia was the one that put hands on Wendy. There has to be something deeper going on here. I'm going to see what's going on, but Jacqueline is in on it. It's crazy. And then we had Mia out here posting this type of stuff.
So, this is what you do when you're going to go out and you're going to do some drinking. You hire a driver. Note to self. So, this is what you do when you're going to go out and you're going to do some drinking. You hire a driver. Note to self. So, this is what you do when you're going to go out and you're going to do some drinking.
So this is the type of stuff that Mia has been posting since she got the DUI. Shade, her mug shot, all of this stuff on social media. So this is very public, and to me, I'm just like, why? Why take it to this level? If you want to get in a little verbal spit spat, whatever, that's cool. But this woman is literally unraveling, so much full of fear and embarrassment and shame already. This is how you want to treat her? Oh, and this was the other part. When Mia says to Karen, and I don't want to get too frou-frou, but you guys know me. I am who I am, and if you know me, you know me. I fully believe in being so careful in the words that you accept that people speak over you and into your life, because people will try to curse you and you don't even realize it. And I'm going to be honest, this is what I mean. When Mia was talking to Karen and they're in their Sprinter van, and Mia's talking about, well, it's all in the press. Everybody knows. You're not talking about it, Karen. And she goes to Karen, she goes, you're going to break, or she's like, you're going to have a breakdown. She either said you're going to break or you're going to have a breakdown, something like that. And that, when I got chills, I was like, Mia, you are a witch. You're evil as hell. And you're trying to curse Karen over her life. And I don't mean to be like frou-frou, but you just have to be careful with the words you accept that people speak over you. And you see Karen's face and she's kind of like, whoa, and it kind of seeps in because she's speaking that into Karen over her. Why would you ever say that to somebody you claim to love or care about? If my friend, even if I'm beefing with my friend, but they could go to jail, the last thing I would say to them is, you're going to break. You're going to have a breakdown. That's an affirmation into somebody. I would be like, you know what? I know this is really scary. This is a tough time, but you are fully supported. We got you. If you need to, let it out, you can let it out. We're here for you. We got you. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? So just be careful. It's a little frou-frou, but if somebody is saying to you, you're going to break, you're going to have a breakdown, you're going to crack, run. Rebuke it in the name of Jesus and run. Do not accept that into your life. Run, 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 run. So that's why I was saying, like, I knew Mia was always messy. I knew she was a liar. I knew things didn't add up, but it's a different type of evilness she's got going on right now. So as always, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Share, like, subscribe. Okay. So with that, let's move on to my next thoughts on Mia. Girl, you in danger, but it's a danger of your own making. You're about to be the inspiration of a Lifetime movie. And what I'm about to say, I say not that I want this to happen, but I think it's a cautionary tale. And I think she should be careful about the way she's moving right now. So as we know, Mia and Gordon got together when Mia was a dancer, a stripper. At that point, Gordon had a lot of money. Either he did or allegedly he did. Let's just say he did, because it seems like, he had the businesses with his family, he had the cars, he had the life, he had the money. And he was like, girl, I'll change your life. Come get with me. You can sleep with other men if you want. I'm older. I have some prostate issues. So if you want to sleep with younger men, that's fine. Just let me know. Don't let the kids be involved, but I'm going to give you this life. I'm going to get you the cars. I'm going to get you the houses. I'm going to get you the bags, blah, 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 blah. She's living this lavish lifestyle. Then all of a sudden, the money dries up. He gets kicked out of the businesses of his family's business, right? There's lawsuits, there's no more money. The big house is gone. The cars are gone. All of that is gone. Then Mia's like, well, I'm out of here. You knew what this was. You were paying to keep me. There's no more money. I'm out. She then goes and gets with a guy she used to be with, on and off for decades. This guy, Ink. Now, all of a sudden, Ink is like, oh, your son, Gordon, I want a paternity test because that could be my son, because Mia and I were smashing during the time that he was conceived, meaning she was cheating on Gordon with Ink, because Gordon has come out and said, I don't know why she felt the need to sneak around when I said it's okay if you need to get, your rocks off with somebody else, just let me know. And apparently she's still wanting to sneak around with him with Ink. Now they're coming out with that whole situation. Now she's living with Ink, or Ink lives with her part-time all the time, whatever the case may be. The kids are coming to Gordon being like, I saw mommy and Ink in bed together prior to them properly separating. Ink lives in the same apartment, or Ink and now Gordon live in the same apartment complex. On top of all of that, Mia has been very disparaging about Gordon. Oh, he's a predator. He is broke. He's crazy. He's abusive. These are wild claims to be making, particularly about the father of your children, who lives in the same building with you, who basically still cohabitates with you, because on camera in front of your kids, you're complaining about him coming over for coffee and how you and Ink did his clothes and laundry, and Ink was folding his underwear. Like, very weird, codependent enmeshment, just weird stuff going on. So I say all of that to say this: you are playing with fire, Mia. You are being set up to be the plot of a Lifetime movie. I don't want this to be, but Gordon to me seems like a man who is on the edge. He's already come out and said he's bipolar. This is what he has come out and said. He said he's bipolar, maybe something else. He's come out and talked about his health, because he had some health issues going on. He clearly had some drinking stuff going on. He's been very, inebriated and drunk on camera a few times. I'm not saying he has a problem. I'm just saying we've seen him drink to excess. She's talked about abuse, all this other stuff. There is only so far. And I'm not saying this would justify him doing anything. Don't get it twisted. I am not saying if he did something, he would be justified. Hell no, absolutely not. No. But what I am saying is that you need to be careful playing with people. You can only push a person so far. A person, yes, but in this situation, you can only push a man so far. You are on camera in front of his children and in front of the world, calling him abusive, calling him a predator, talking about his sexual performance or lack thereof. You are now questioning the paternity of his child. You are now emasculating him with having a whole nother man, basically trying to replace him and laughing at him. You can only push someone so far. And we've seen, people snap for less. And to me, it seems like a very toxic environment that is brewing for something to pop off the next Lifetime movie. Like, she was taken by her husband and her ex. And I don't know, two unalives and another unalive in the night. I don't know. But I would not be this is just, you're putting gasoline on an already burning fire. Then you have Ink in the situation, who is basically coming in and on pissing on Gordon's territory. I want a paternity test about this guy. I'm having sex with your wife in your house. Your children know that I'm having sex with her. Your children are reporting back to you that I'm having sex with her. Now the entire world knows this. You can only push a person so far before they snap. And when you continuously berate someone, disrespect someone, dismiss someone, emasculate someone, belittle someone, embarrass and humiliate someone who you already know is struggling with their mental health, that you're waiting for something to pop all the way off. All the way off. It's just, to me, I'm looking at the situation like, Mia, you in danger, girl. You in danger. People pop off for a lot less. For a lot less. And I'm sorry, Mia, but you're being hella disrespectful to Gordon. You really are. And your children are going to see this. Karen's right. Your children are going to see this. You brought a whole man into the house. You have the right to move on. You have the right to live your life. You don't have to stay with someone if you're not in love or whatever the case may be, but you do it in a way with dignity and respect to all parties. This, to me, it's just waiting to happen. And the fact that you're calling Ink your savior, again, goes to your level of delusion, because Ink is the epitome of a man making a damn clown fool out of a woman. Because Mia, you look like a damn clown fool. Number one, Ink doesn't really want you, because if he wanted you, he would have been had you, but he didn't want you. He wanted to play with you, and he wanted to use you. And when he was done playing and using you, and you went off to Gordon or the other men or whatever you were doing, he was trying to kick it with Jacqueline, your BFF girl. And Jacqueline, with her dodo brains, like, he wanted to meet up with me, but I said no, because I didn't want no parts of that. You do realize this is your so-called best friend, and now you're saying to the entire world that the man she is now with wanted to have sex with you and sleep with you. That's hella disrespectful. But again, this is Ink. I'm not surprised. And again, this is all my opinion based on what they're telling us. He doesn't want you. He wanted to play with you. He wanted to have sex with you. He wanted to have fun with you and to use you, but he didn't want you. If he wanted you, he would have been had you. You would have never been in the position where you were dancing at the club and doing whatever you were doing at the club and to meet Gordon if Ink actually had any love and respect for you. And this is no disrespect to dancers or sex workers or anything like that. I think if that's your chosen profession, that is fine, as long as you are safe and it is consensual. Do what you want to do. So no disrespect to people who choose that profession at all. I'm just saying, in this situation, if he really cared about you, you wouldn't have been out there dipping it and doing it for some dollar bills. Let's just put it that way. Okay, sweetheart? Also, he had, however long you and Gordon were together, 11 plus years, because I think Jeremiah is 8. That's your oldest. And then you were with him a couple years. So you guys have been together about 11, 12 years. So he's had over a decade to turn back around and come get you, but he didn't. He only came back when you were on television, when you had a little bit of money, when you had a little bit of fame, which is what he wants. He wants your money and he wants your fame. He wants to suck the life out of you and take your place. He doesn't really want you. Also, if he really thought Jeremiah, who is now all of 8 or 9 years old, again, he's had almost a decade, if this man actually thought this boy was his, why did it take until the cameras were rolling for him to say, I want a paternity test? Because he doesn't really care about being a father to Jeremiah. He's probably thinking, I could probably get some child support. If Jeremiah turns out to be mine, I could probably get some child support, because he's not going to stay with you. Once you're off the show, once the cameras are down, he's going to leave you, because he only came back to you when the cameras were up and you had a little bit of clout. This DJ or whatever the hell he's calling himself, and he's playing in your face and he's making you look like a freaking clown. Not physically, but by the way you're moving like a clown. You are being so disrespectful to Gordon. And I really like Gordon. Do I believe Mia and all her claims against him? I don't. And I'm a person who I am like believe victims, believe women all day every single day, but I'm also not stupid. I think her claims of abuse and grooming, because she's like, oh, when I was 19, he was doing all like, how did you even know Gordon when you were 19? If you met Gordon when you're 19 and you guys were together, you would be your early 30s. Mia, don't play in our faces. You're not your early 30s, sweetheart. If you saying you met Gordon when you were 19, you guys have been together for 11 years, that puts you at like what? 30, 31, 32? Girl, stop playing. Stop playing in our faces. You're not early 30s. Knock it off, sweetheart. Because remember, she didn't know what her age was, which doesn't matter, but knock it off. So all these convenient allegations against Gordon, do I think there was probably verbal abuse in mental manipulation in the marriage? Yes. But do I think it's to the level of like abuse with the big A? In my opinion, no. I think they both were probably going at it and being mean and low blows and being emotionally and verbally abusive to each other. I think they probably both were going. I don't think that justifies it. I'm not saying it's okay. No, not at all. But do I think it's something that is so abnormal where I would be like, Gordon is a predator and he's abusive? No, I don't think that's true. And again, that's just my opinion on the situation. That's just I wasn't with them. I wasn't behind the closed doors. I'm just going off of how I see her moving, you know? So, Mia, you and Danger Girl, and calling any person your savior is whack, boring. You look like a clown, you look like a fool. I don't know whatever you think you're doing, you're not doing it. That's not it. To me, you are a Lifetime movie waiting to happen, like the day he snapped, or something like that. Just because I'm sorry, but like you can only push a certain someone so far with what you're doing. And you are really getting at him at all the core pillars of a man. He's broke, he ain't got no money. He can't, he's sick and he can't have sex anymore. His son isn't his son. Paternity, right? Ink is my savior now. He's now my protector, provider. You are literally assassinating this man on every single pillar of quote manhood, and you expect nothing to happen? Girl, you in danger. 1 second. Mia's ghost is trying to come and get me. So just be careful, Mia, playing with this man. You might just bite off more than you can chew. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to put it down below. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is just about Karen's request to dismiss her DUI case was denied due to illegal search. We all know that. Okay, and we talked about Ashley and Stacy. Okay, so I think that was everything, you guys. I think I touched on everyone. So just to quickly summarize, Karen, I'm rooting for Karen. I think that she is very scared that she's going to go to jail. I think she's embarrassed. I think she's humiliated. I don't think her and Ray are in a good place. I think now it seems like they're just sort of like roommates living together rather than husband and wife. That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm rooting for Karen. I hope she has to go to rehab and gets community service. I really don't want her to go to jail. So let's see how everything unravels. But I feel like Mia is going to be the Tamara Judge and Karen is going to be the Shannon Bedore. So we'll see. Stacy, I really like Stacy. I think she's going to come into her own. She's going to have her own voice. However, I'm going to need her to stop playing in our faces with this fake TJ relationship. I don't know if she believes it, but I don't believe it. Stop playing in our face, Stacy. And let's see what happens. I think she's going through something. Maybe, oof, I don't know if I want to say this because it just came to my mind. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it with a disclaimer. Oof. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it with a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose. This is just what popped in my head. This is just my observation. I'm not saying this is true, and I'm not a doctor. But Ashley to me seems like something's off. Yes, she seems bitter and jealous, but she's always been bitter and jealous. And she's not drinking. Maybe she's on a antidepressant or something, some type of medication where she can't mix it with alcohol because her spark isn't there. Because I've never really liked Ashley, but she's always had a spark. She's always had a spunk to her. But now there's a dullness to her. I don't know. I'm not saying she is. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying anything like that. But that just popped in my head thinking about it. I think Ashley's going to be messy as always, but it's going to be even more mean spirited. I think she's the new Robin to Gizelle. She's going to be her yes person. Wendy to me is boring. This could be her last season, and I would not care. My gut says she did not leave teaching on her own accord. I think she was asked to step down, and they gave her the option to resign. That's just my gut feeling. Because I think Wendy Osefo, 4 Degrees Wendy, she would have just taken a sabbatical or a hiatus. You could take a year's whatever, but to resign seemed very dramatic and very performative. I think that whatever, university she was it John Hopkins or whatever it was, that she was, adjunct professor at or whatever. I don't think they wanted to be associated with the show anymore. And I think they gave her the option to resign and she took it. Gizelle, I think we're going to see a softer Gizelle, but I think that's because life has really humbled her in a positive way. She's still not my fave or my cup of tea. She still doesn't really give, but I do understand why they kept her this season. KK, I'm going to need you to go to therapy, work on your self-esteem and your self-worth, and thinking that you're not a ring thirsty girl, that's not cute. We see through that. What you really think about yourself is, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. And I'm scared that if I say that's what I want, he'll leave me. So I'm going to pretend I don't want it. But you deserve it, girl. All right. So that's what I think about everything, you guys. So as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and put your comment down below. And tomorrow I'm going to do a Beverly Hills. I know Beverly Hills is not filming right now, or isn't airing right now, but I just want to catch up on all of the latest and greatest from Beverly Hills. Wednesday, we'll be doing Salt Lake City. Wednesday, New York City. Thursday, Salt Lake City. And Friday, we'll be doing the OC. So with that,